welcome to DCUtv News' first live broadcast. I'm Rachel Kelleher. DCU's 4th annual Beg, Borrow and Steal charity event took place on the 3rd and 4th of February in aid of Movember Ireland for the 3rd year running. The fundraiser saw more than 100 students race across Europe to reach Rome, relying solely on the kindness of strangers. Emily Crowley and Liam Ashton were at the launch of the event.
Walking, taxis, thumbing lifts, airplanes and other forms of transport are what over 50 teams of DCU students will be searching for this Thursday and Friday. But there's only one problem. They can't pay for any of it. DCU's Beg, Borrow, Steal is taking place this year on the 2nd and 3rd of February. Each team must try and get to Rome by 5 p.m. on Friday, with the first team there being crowned the winners. However, this year was the first year that Beg, Borrow, Steal went from being a society-ran event to an SU-ran event.
Yeah, so Beg, Borrow, Steal was an event that I set up. It was always my concept and something that I wanted to grow and see where we could go with it. Obviously, in the first year we started off going to Cork, but I always had the idea and vision of it going across Europe, and I just wanted to take that with me. And next year we'll see where we go as well. It's a transition that'll be going on for a few years, but I've given a lot to ESOC over the years. Many events that they run have come from me, so so that's why it's kind of my personal thing. Beg, Borrow, Steal is, but Beg, Borrow, Steal, ESOC will survive without it. They should be able to anyway. They've a lot of other events on throughout the year, so they should be able to keep themselves occupied.
Many of the students taking part have similar emotions about how the task will go.
Probably scared about getting no money, or people might just not give us money.
We've been stuck in an airport, not being able to get out of it. The checkpoints aren't at the airport, because you have to go to Big Ben, not to London. Just to get from the airport to Big Ben, back to the airport, a train station, whatever, to get on, it's collecting money.
Toughest, getting money, Then obviously just the whole thrill of it's going to be class.
Getting stranded somewhere with nothing, our batteries running dead, having no money, having nowhere to go, only God to help us.
For the next couple of hours I'm most scared of not actually making it, or not getting anyone to help us out. But the thing that I'm most excited about is the fact that we don't know where we're going and we don't know what's going to happen. I could end up anywhere, so I'm excited.
I had a fairly dodgy breakfast, so I'm a bit scared if I'm on a long journey without a bathroom. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm just buzzing to get there early. I hope we get there.
Over 50 teams of 2 will leave DCU's new bar this morning in the hopes of being in Rome tomorrow evening. Each team has raised at least €250 for Movember, and it has been DCU's most successful year with Beg, Borrow, Steal. The people with the most amount of money will get a 15, 10 or 5 minute head start depending on how much they raise.
Well, we had about 1,600 raised when we got the head start, but now we have over 2,000 raised.
So we're continuing as we go along. Even today, we know people are going to donate more money. So as we go along, there's going to be more donations, hopefully, as the fundraiser continues. As Dylan was saying, it's how we use the 5 minutes. So if we use it wisely, then hopefully it'll benefit us then in the long run.
And it'll just leave less panic than 200 people scrambling off at the same time. It'll be easy to get out there quicker and on our own.
Emily Crowley, DCUtv News.
Following the event, our reporters Shauna Cole and Colleen Brady spoke to the winners, as well as Student Union President Dylan Kehoe.
This year's Beg, Borrow, Steal saw 122 students race from DCU to Rome in aid of the Irish Cancer Society. The winners were Oran Duffy and Liam Aweeney of Team Lemon, who reached the final destination in less than 24 hours.
I suppose we were rootless. We didn't have time to go to the toilet. We didn't have time to get a drink
we didn't
of water.
eat for 12 hours
more. What? It was more than that. Oh wait,
no, I don't know. Well, a long time.
A long time, yeah.
We knew we were going to sacrifice the crack, because we were just running around.
I suppose the high point obviously was landing there at the Trevi, and there was nobody there. We were like, oh my god, can we just do it? Or whatever. That was savage.
And then I think the bus was the worst thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the bus was
the worst, because we didn't even know we were winning. We were on this bus for 7 hours, and it was hot.
Felt like I was in the worst hangover ever.
Yeah,
I couldn't go to sleep.
And the smell of us as well.
Oh, the smell of us.
And yeah, that was probably the worst, but we won it, so it was alright. It didn't really matter.
Whoever was there was savage crack.
Yeah, it was unreal weekend, class weekend. good atmosphere, good buzz.
The event broke the €100,000 mark in total fundraising over the past 3 years. Begbar Steel, which was previously run by ESOC, was run by the SU for the first time this year.
Begbar Steel was always something that was my own events, and I just ran it wherever I may be. So over the last few years being in ESOC, that was where I started it and grew it. But it was a natural transition then to the SU with myself, and obviously it's a bigger platform, so we were able to get more teams involved, get more sponsors involved. So the plan next year was to hopefully do it in multiple universities, obviously one being DCU, but over in the UK as well, there's a lot of universities over there that want to launch it, and then currently in talks at Movember Los Angeles at the minute.
Colleen Brady, DCUtv News.
Last week, DCU hosted Give It a Go Week, which gave students the chance to try out new clubs and societies in Semester 2 before joining. The initiative was set up by Clubs and Socs officer Sadhbh Candon, who confirmed it as a huge success. Reporters Liam Ashton and Shirley Donlan went along to check things out.
Semester 2's Give It a Go Week took place this week, giving students the opportunity to attend Clubs and Socs events before joining. Clubs officer Sadhbh Candon explains.
Okay, so Give It a Go Week Take 2 is just a session where beginners can go, so it's stress-free, relaxed environment with clubs and societies. So some societies might give a get-to-know session, and then clubs will give a training session just for beginners, and they can try it out before signing up to Refreshers Weekend this week. So with clubs, their training sessions would mainly focus on taking the pace down, really focusing on bringing them in, showing them the equipment, showing them their training areas, and then giving them basic skills. And then the same would be with society, so they tell them a little bit about the society. Dance would do, I know Dance and Soccer would do the same as a club, they'll hold dance, playing and take it at a slower pace.
Fotosoc were one society to take part, giving students the chance to meet new people as well as develop their photography skills.
So for Give It a Go Week, we decided to do a workshop that would require kind of a bit of knowledge of how to use a camera, but that's exactly what we were showing people. And as well, food is something that kind of brings people together, and when there's free food, loads of people will come and it's an incentive to come, so that was the idea.
Circus Art Soc also opened their doors to potential new members, as explained by committee member Steve Flynn.
Usually when they show up, we chat for a while, see if there's any previous experience doing circus stuff. Maybe some people have juggled before, did poi before. If not, we tend to bring them to the cage, and it's a cage of equipment, not an actual cage, and show them all stuff that we have. And I think that the thing looks really cool, we then pick it up and show them how to do it, show them how to do some basic tricks with it.
But I've never done all things like jongling, but maybe try it. That's kind of cool.
And do you think that the Give It a Go Week has helped? So do you think that people are very welcoming?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
It depends on the clubs, but because I'm a foreigner, so it's a bit weird, but it's cool to meet like new Irish people because we can't meet them away from the clubs. Maybe it's kind of cool.
This is Liam Ashton for DCU TV News.
DCU has become the first Irish university designated as a University of Sanctuary due to its commitment to welcoming asylum seekers and refugees. Shirley Donlan and Emily Crowley report.
Dublin City University got off to a bright start this year after being designated as Ireland's first University of Sanctuary. The college was awarded the title by the City of Sanctuary, an organisation that welcomes asylum seekers and refugees into the country and also creates a welcoming environment for those seeking refuge. DCU has also offered 15 scholarships to refugees and asylum seekers. Each faculty in the university is offering one scholarship, with the remaining scholarships being offered by the online platform DCU Connected. DCU SU President Dylan Keogh feels that the scholarship scheme is a huge boost to the status of the university.
For me, it shows that DCU is saying that we're here for everyone and we support everyone and we accept everyone. And I think it's a great move, and I think symbolically it looks really good on behalf of the university, and I think it sheds a really good light on the people here in DCU. We were actually, before the University of Sanctuary came along, we were actually working with the Red Cross and stuff in terms of the refugee crisis. So we're doing a few things. Cody in particular has a couple of campaigns organised around welcoming refugees and like setting up refugee packs. So when they do arrive, we'll be there to welcome them in the airport with with items like whether it's refreshments, toiletries, guides about Ireland, and how to just settle in and how to become integrated in Irish society. Irish culture and society is a very easy one to fit into, and people seem to like it and get on with it. So there shouldn't be an issue, but it's an opportunity for us to get out there face to face with them and just show them that friendly DCU atmosphere that we know so well, that it is there for others to be a part of. So there's some little things we'll be doing over the coming weeks. I know Cody's very excited to launch that and tell everyone more about that.
The students selected for the scholarships will begin their studies in September 2017. DCU President Bream McCrath said that the title is not a destination but rather the marker on the beginning of a journey. Shirley Donlan, DCU TV News.
DCU Fotosoc held the semi-final of the Project Young Designer competition in the Helix last week. I went backstage alongside Amy Lawler to talk to some of the judges and designers. One of DCU Style Society's most established events took place on February 7th in the Helix, shining a light on the talent of young Irish designers. Project Young Designers saw chic, contemporary and creative pieces highlight this year's theme, the evolution of style. A judging panel consisting of stylist Justine King, fashion editor Sinead O'Reilly and owner of Carrie's Closet, Lisa Duffy Kavanagh, choose their favourite pieces to go forward to the final. With strong competition, the judges struggled to choose 5 finalists.
To be honest, I was just saying that the judges couldn't agree. There was one we could all agree on. Everyone had chosen their 5 and they were all different, which shows how high the standard was. For me, I'd say there was about 3 I definitely wanted to see go through, and I think those 3 are in the final 5, so that's great.
No, there was a few disagreements. For the most part, we got about 3 the same, but there was a few that, I would have liked in, but just the way it goes.
The 5 finalists will get to showcase their designs at this year's DCU Fashion Show on the 1st of March 2017. The lucky winner will also get their piece displayed in Omdiva in the heart of Dublin City Centre. We spoke to one finalist, Rita Zakar, about exactly what went into creating her unique design.
The pattern making probably took me about 30 hours. And then, because it was very detailed, especially the skirt part, so it took actually lots of thinking out. It actually took longer than to actually make it. And the actual sewing part, I made it in 3 weeks, but if I want to squeeze it, the making hours, it would take about 100 hours.
Tickets for the fashion show are on sale until March 1st for a price of just €12 and are available to purchase across all campuses. This is Rachel Kelleher for DCU TV News. US President Donald Trump shocked the world with his controversial travel ban of people from predominantly Islamic countries earlier this month. Nicknamed the Muslim travel ban, reporter Lucy Mangan spoke to a representative from DCU Islam Society to see how this policy may affect us here in Ireland.
The executive order that was signed in by Trump on the 27th of January has caused controversy since it was first enacted. Protesters have turned out in their thousands outside numerous airports to fight the ban. The ban specifically targets 7 Muslim-dominated countries, excluding countries that Trump does business with. We spoke to a member of the mosque here in Dublin to gauge the feeling of Muslims in Ireland towards the ban.
I wouldn't say there's an immediate difference, but it definitely will have its knock-on effect. Everything that happens worldwide will have an effect in other countries, in a sense that I think again it's going to just create a larger stigma for Muslims in Ireland. It's going to make them again create that us and them divide, and unfortunately people don't want to talk about it, therefore misconceptions aren't removed and people aren't getting the right information and they just believe what they hear and see, and then Muslims feel kind of vulnerable and victimized in the sense that it's blatantly being said and being called the Muslim ban instead of the 7-country ban, etc. And again, for like your average Irish person who might not have come in contact with Muslims, who might not live in a community or in a county with a large Muslim population, they wouldn't know what's going on and might even justify the ban itself. I feel like throughout his entire campaign and probably through his presidency, he will continue to target different groups, different races and different religions. He isn't the nicest person out there, but I mean a lot of people are on the same train and wouldn't say it but just think it. Hopefully he'll calm down and we have to stop acting like Muslims are the problem and stop labelling it as all Muslims, and be very clear when we're saying, oh, we're doing this because blah blah, we're doing this because of X, Y and Z, and kind of stop defining everything and blaming all the Muslims. Not every Muslim needs to be bad, not every Muslim needs to be tagged or regulated or carry an ID card. It's not fair. And what happens, what example are we setting for the young children? What happens when they come to school? What happens in colleges then? Will there be only Muslim only colleges, or that kind of way? So we have to stop acting like Muslims are the problem and target the real problem, which are like terrorists and extremists who need to be completely dissociated with the faith itself.
A federal judge in Seattle blocked major parts of the ban on February 3rd, allowing thousands to enter the country. While the future is still unclear, many Americans are still fighting the ban to allow refugees into their country. This is Lucy Mangan for DCUtv News.
And now for sport. DCU's Camogie team were up against rivals UCD last Tuesday in the quarter-final of the Ashburn Cup. The match took place in DCU Sports Ground and was covered by Liam Ashton and Clara Hickey.
Rivals UCD beat DCU in the quarter-final of the Ashburn Cup in DCU Sports Grounds on Tuesday evening by a score of 114 to 2-5. With the scores tied at 1-7 to 2-4, it was UCD who pulled away in the second half to make their first semi-final in 4 years.
Alright, so first of all, it's obviously a big rivalry playing against DCU, so what does the win mean?
It means everything. Like, we've worked so hard, like, since we've been training since about October, and we had a few bad matches against UL and WIT, and we just came out here and just said we give it everything. We didn't have anything to lose, so just gave it everything. It means we're so happy.
What do you think the biggest difference was in the end then?
I think we just wanted it more. Like, it means everything to the girls. There's a few of them there a few years, and we haven't made it to Ashburn semi-finals for I think 4 years or something like that, and we've been in the Shields and stuff, so we just said we'd give it everything, and we're just delighted to be there now on Saturday.
DCU's Ciara Egan described what she thought the differences were in the second half.
Probably their touch was much better. They were probably ahead of the ball a lot more than we were, and I think after the first half, once they started getting a few scores, our heads just kind of dropped, and then that was it. They took it from there.
And you think you had the early lead at the start of the first half, so what was the team thinking then at that stage?
I don't know, maybe UCD just got more focused then, and then they knew how to deal with going behind more than we did, and then we thought we were more ahead than we actually were, and then we just dropped our heads.
After an early goal for DCU, it was UCD who came fighting back in the second half to win convincingly. DCU will now finish their season with a defence of the Shield on Saturday. This is Liam Ashton for DCUtv News.
And that's it from me. Tune in again in 2 weeks' time for the next DCUtv News live broadcast.